dear student, welcome back to our MyEco B1-B2 intermediate level English lessons. The topic of our fourth lesson is simple past tense. So, let's begin. In English, we use the simple past tense to describe actions that started and finished at a certain time in the past, situations that started and finished at a certain time in the past, as well as actions that were repeated for a period of time in the past but have now been terminated, meaning they are now finished. The be verb am, is, are that we use in the present and in the present tense becomes was, were in the past tense. Verbs to make simple past tense sentences are using their second form. In English, we have three forms. The first form is known as verb 1. This is the present tense form. Simple present tense uses verb 1. Form 2 is the past tense form. Simple past tense uses verb 2. Verb 3 is our past participle form. Present perfect, future perfect, and all the perfect tenses use past participle form. We will learn more details about these different forms in the upcoming lessons. Let's start off by looking at some examples of simple past tense sentences. They were in Japan last year. They weren't here. Was, were, remember is be verb in the past tense. She was very rich 5 years ago, but she lost all her wealth within 5 years. It snowed a lot last winter. The weather was too cold for 4 months. We stopped on the way to get some fresh air and view the beautiful scenery. Now, let's look at the grammatical structure of the past tense. Let's start with positive sentences. We know that the be verb am, is, are becomes was, were. Am becomes was, and is, are become were. I was just a young student 6 years ago. She was at work all day. He was ill last week. It was rainy in Boston last week. We were very happy during the party. You were so sad a few minutes ago. They were in Beijing yesterday. I was not sure about the issue. This last one brings us to our next group, which is negative structures. Was, were was the first step. To make that negative, we have was not and were not. Was not and were not can be contracted to wasn't and weren't. He wasn't ill yesterday. She wasn't in the classroom this morning. It wasn't sunny in New York yesterday. We were not happy about the news. You weren't right in the argument. They weren't in Atlanta yesterday. To form a question in the past tense, we put was, were at the beginning of our sentence, followed by our subject. Was I correct? Was he frustrated? Was she a good student? Was it rainy yesterday? Were we here this morning? Were you embarrassed? And were they worried? Answers to questions can be positive or negative. The short answer form would be yes, I was, yes, he was, yes, she was, or yes, it was. Of course, it's also possible to say yes, you were, yes, we were, or yes, they were. For negative short answers, no, I wasn't, no, he wasn't, no, she wasn't, no, it wasn't, no, you weren't, no, we weren't, and no, they weren't. Remember, weren't is just a contracted version of were not. In English, we have something called regular and irregular verbs. You will learn more about regular and irregular verbs in the upcoming lessons, but let's start with regular verbs now. Regular verbs means to put them into the form to, verb to, past tense form, we generally add ed. Verb, verbed, walk, walked, call, called. All we did was add ed. I graduated from the university. He talked to his wife today. She studied in the library. It snowed heavily yesterday. You opened the door early. We added some salt for you. They watched a movie yesterday. When we have negative sentences in the past, we do not add ed because we add did not. Did not plus the verb. For example, I did not graduate from the university. Did not graduate, not did not graduated. Or, he didn't talk to his wife today. She didn't study in the library. It didn't snow heavily last night. You didn't open the door early. We didn't add salt for you. So did not becomes didn't plus our verb in the verb one form. To ask a question with the simple past tense, we're still going to be using did. Did is at the beginning of our sentence, followed by our subject and our verb in the verb one, meaning the present tense form. Did I graduate from the university? Did he talk to his wife today? Did she study in the library? Did it snow heavily last night? Did you open the door early? Did we play a game with you? Did they watch a movie yesterday? In all of these, we can see I have did, my subject, and my verb in the first form, verb one form. Answers for short: yes, I did. Yes, he did. Yes, she did. Yes, it did. Yes, you did. Yes, we did. Yes, they did. And negative: no, I didn't. No, he didn't. No, she didn't. No, it didn't. No, they didn't. No, you didn't. No, we didn't. Here is something important to remember. The verb do, as in to do, in the second form is written as did. This should not be confused with the construct did. So the did we use at the beginning of a question or that we use in other parts of the sentence is not the same as do in the sentence. For example, what did you do this morning? I did some cleaning. That I did some cleaning is actually to do some cleaning, that now in the past tense becomes did. Or, did they do shopping yesterday? Yes, they did. They did shopping. The did shopping here is to do shopping in the past form, verb to. Just like I mentioned before, you will have a whole lesson where you can see regular and irregular verbs in detail. But today we've started with regular verbs. Now, looking at irregular verbs, I can give you this information. Just like with regular verbs, when we are asking a question using did, irregular verbs also use their verb 1 form. For example, I didn't go to school yesterday, but I went to the cinema. Go is an irregular verb, so when it has didn't in its path, it becomes go. Normally, for its past form, it is went, but I went to the cinema. Did you go anywhere? And there you have it for the information related to simple past tense. Now, let's do an activity together to make sure we all understand. So, we have some verbs here: decide, be, admire, not want, try, watch, taste, love, talk, visit, wonder, and enjoy. And we're going to try and put them in the most appropriate place in the sentences. Last weekend, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were on a holiday in Spain. The weather blank so nice that they blank to stay indoors. The weather was so nice that they didn't want to stay indoors. They blank outdoors for 2 days and they blank their time a lot there. They were outdoors for 2 days and they enjoyed their time a lot there. They blank historical sites, blank traditional dances, blank traditional Spanish food, and blank through the stores in the city center of Barcelona. They visited historical sites, watched traditional dances, tasted traditional Spanish food, and wandered through the stores in the city center of Barcelona. They blank the natural beauty and the lively atmosphere in Spain. They admired the natural beauty and lively atmosphere in Spain. The sea blank wonderful, and the people blank very friendly. The sea was wonderful, and the people were very friendly. They blank to other tourists in the city and blank on traditional clothes in one of the stores in Barcelona with them. They talked to other tourists in the city and tried on traditional clothes in one of the stores in Barcelona with them. They blanked Spain so much that they blanked to go there again. They loved Spain so much that they decided to go there again. And now our fourth lesson is complete. To get more information on this topic, please click the links below the video. If you wish, you can purchase our B1-B2 Essential English Grammar book, sign up for our course on our Udemy page, or go to our MyEco website to purchase one of our education packages where you can receive more activities and their solutions. See you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.